Hi,
I think
guys.
we're live. It's weird without the music, isn't it?
We are. We're trying something a little different today, but welcome to JoyRide.
Woohoo!
We're going live out here on Facebook land. So if you're joining us, thank you. Or later on YouTube, welcome to another spin around all things metaphysical, spiritual, soulful.
There we go.
We're the Metaphysical Moms. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Carrie, and we are we're trying something new. We're always trying something new. This is show number 68.
Woohoo.
So for those, I say, when we put things on YouTube, we sort of started the first half were basically just audio for iTunes. So then we just decided to get fancy, and you can't see them. We have all these new lights in the studio, and it's really fun. Yeah, so then that's when we moved into YouTube. And so if you want to listen to the first few shows, those all are on our joyrideshow.com.
On the episode blog page, and there are iTunes, Google Play.
Yeah, all that.
SoundCloud,
everything. And we thought that was supposed to go away at some point too. Anyway, so hi, welcome to the show.
Welcome, and we have a lovely returning guest, a fellow metaphysical mama who's becoming a regular here on the JoyRide show, Mr. Sister
Nora.
from another
different lifetime.
Yeah, probably.
Nora Yolles Young. Welcome,
Nora.
Guys, gals. Now we're like
all this masculine energy or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of masculine energy.
It has been crazy the last few days.
Yeah, are
You
you all
had
feeling
crazy
it
times.
too? Yeah, I'm having crazy stuff. I would imagine that you're all having it.
And I'm sure you guys who are joining us are having it. We want this to be an interactive show, so it's going to be kind of a tea time. We're all going to just sit and talk and chat about everything that's going on in our lives, all the updates, all the things that we're dealing with. So we want to hear from you. So thank you for joining us and tune in. So we're going to jump right in.
We're going to jump right in. Okay, first of all, shout out. My youngest is now officially 9 as of 1 a.m. this morning.
Happy birthday,
Woo.
2 miles.
Yes, and you know what he did last night?
What?
He had a past life regression. And it was really important to him that he was your youngest ever. Like he
Is my
broke a record.
youngest ever, and I was really skeptical that he was going to be able to have one, and he was a total pro, amazing.
Isn't it
Well, let's
incredible?
introduce Nora.
Yes.
It wasn't something you just
Yeah,
by
we
the
just
seat of your
decided
pants.
to do.
Nora is a Life Between Lives hypnotherapist.
I am.
Certified by the Michael Newton Institute. I love Michael Newton's books. He changed my world.
Yeah.
Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. And I love that he's now training so many other therapists how to take people under hypnosis back through not just their past lives, but their life between lives, where they were spirit and you can connect with your higher self, your guides, and get a totally different perspective on who you are, why you're here, what's going on.
Yeah, it's a way of going and visiting home, where we're actually from, and getting some perspective on this crazy human experience that we're all participating in. Yeah, and Dr. Newton is no longer of the earth plane, so we love to invite him in and give a shout out to all those who have transitioned.
Tom Petty.
Just heard about Tom Petty, and we're all heartbroken
Oh,
because
my.
we're huge
Oh, hell
Tom
no,
Petty.
Tom
Yeah.
Petty.
Oh, no.
Totally big fans.
And let's just take a moment to address Las Vegas, because there are so many broken-hearted people. Obviously, our hearts go out to all the people who have transitioned, passed away, who were killed, and their families, and all the people that witnessed that, and all of us who are witnessing it collectively around the world, and how it's just there's nothing to make sense of it.
Trauma.
There's no rhyme or reason. There were no red flags. It was just some people going to have fun at a festival, and they were just randomly shot from a hotel room. And all we can say is that we're addressing it, and we're trying to spin it with love and light, because it doesn't make sense any other way.
Well, and I have something to say about this, because I choose. My first thought was, oh my God, my kids are going to do those kinds of things when they get older. And then it's like, no, back up. It is tragic. And there is a day that would have sunk me for days. I mean, I would have emotionally gone into the what ifs, and oh my gosh, we're going to a football game, what if? And I'm not going there. I know that this energy, and I know a lot of different folks are saying it's polarizing and it's amping up what's already there. And it is, I choose to feel that when we cross, however that happens, whether it's, this peaceful family around you death or something horribly tragic and what this was, that they get to the other side and say, wow, that was going out in a big way, and it may not be time for that, but I don't want to feed that. I want to hold space for folks, and my heart goes out to you. I mean, it just does. It makes me cry. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think there's a different way that we can look at this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm sure people who go back and live through regression and visit their past lives and their death experience have died in many dramatic, traumatic, tragic ways.
Thousands.
I think most people.
Every permutation possible. And, you have that, Carrie had a past life where she was in Nazi Germany, and we all have, our souls have experiences. And I want to just first say, I'm so sorry for everyone's pain and loss. And I also want to say, and we'll talk more about past lives, but I'd also like to encourage people to have trust that grief is temporary and to feel it. Don't push it away. Part of the range of human emotional experience is a very important thing to feel. It's not just about feeling great and uplifted and forcing yourself to feel higher vibrationally. You have to feel the lower vibrations if that's genuinely what's needing to be processed, and then it'll be easier to elevate yourself to new heights. And when a traumatic event happens like this, it affects the psyche and the collective psyche. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of focus on this. I think the key in this situation is to really try to stay out of fear. Feeding the fear, energizing the fear, because each one of our thoughts feeds the collective, and if we have a collective that's driven by fear and focused on fear, we'll attract more of these events. If we hold each other in the light, support each other, let each other be who we are meant to be, whatever that is, so-and-so's taking way too long to grieve this situation. She's been grieving for a long time. Let her,
Right.
And if you're feeling like you're dealing with grief and you're not ready to move on, that's okay. But also give yourself permission to you're not doing anyone any favors by grieving, and you're not honoring your past loved one by staying in a state of grief. Give yourself permission to live your life. I think about the deer, that loses the baby who got hit by the car or whatever, and the mommy still needs to just feed herself and she's not staying in this emotional place of grief. Maybe she's feeling the loss or whatever, but you see, like in the animal kingdom, they have to move on, and human beings can give themselves permission to be more resilient.
Mm-hmm. I have a friend of mine that passed away years ago. I talk about her quite a bit, and I pick up her son from school, and I just remember this big white truck thing she had, SUV, and they sold it last week. And it's weird because I don't know why I even asked. We're talking about cars and stuff, and my friend's son said, "Yeah, we sold the car actually 2 days ago," and it was, and I know that was like one of the last big holds, and so it's like slowly they're letting things go and they're moving on. But there's this fear, I think, to moving on that means you're going to forget or you won't honor them, and I think that's everyone's fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can also encourage ourselves to go bigger than we imagined. The human experience, there's a lot of people who have led the way for us, but trust and know that you are a spiritual being in a physical experience of being human, and that you wanted to be here. And you knew there were highs and lows. There's something there. Miles was talking about when he was in the womb. Having a little bit of anxiety coming in because I don't know what to expect. But you, as a soul, chose to come into this life. And if this is a given that you're a spiritual being having a physical experience, you didn't come here to sort of just get by and float. You came here to really be magnificent, and whatever that means to you. And as Eric likes to say, from channeling Eric, make it your masterpiece, right? Like, why not? And if there's nothing to be afraid of because you're immortal, if you die, you die.
It's like the vampire shows. They're like, oh my God, and they're always so wealthy and so well educated because they've had so much time to do it, to accomplish it. But you know what though, you had sent me something, and I don't remember what his name is. Something, the guy we were talking about.
Richard Dolan.
No. You'd help me, but you don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Starts
to
with a B. Benito.
Oh, Benito Massaro.
And it was beautiful, and I was listening to this lecture he was giving, and it was just, I walked away, I was so mad. I was furious. It was this, because there are people that come to this earth, and we are here to help service man. Mm-hmm. We're here to help get everybody going, and I know that, and it resonated. And women, but to lift up and do all of these things. And he said, and when you reach a point that you want nothing, and you reach a point that you're so elevated, and I'm like, then why freaking come?
Totally.
I mean, if
that was
you're in the
an issue that
3D,
I had as well. Yeah.
You're here to experience, and I want to experience, and I want stuff.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to say that. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I want stuff. I want pretty stuff. I like stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of it, and I'm wanting less and less of it as I go, but
somehow you can't be of service unless you're external to yourself, and I totally reject that notion. You have to be loving of your own being before you can even know what love is.
Yeah, but when you listen to someone and you walk away feeling like I'm not enough, that I have to change and I have to try to suppress the urges, and that I'm not disciplined enough, and I haven't gone inside enough, and I haven't let go of my ego enough to be enlightened, I reject that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's bullshit. Because it's someone else's framework.
Well, and that's that less than that we're constantly, it's the
Especially
same old
as women,
story then.
Western women.
Yeah, it's that less than paradigm, and that I think needs to be rejected, because we're whole. We're whole now, and the moment we accept that we're whole, we can proceed. We don't have to, we can be brand new and perfect right in this moment and move forward. We don't have to participate in the narratives that provide that story of lack and less than and trauma. Hey, if it's working for you,
right,
do it.
To each his own.
But if you look externally to yourself, and there are people who are doing things that you think are really cool, find within yourself that through line. How could you get there? And then reverse engineer it. Allow yourself to daydream about it. There is no need to think about the how. It's all about the dream and letting the universe come and bring it, baby. Bring it.
Well, that's why we're here. And I have to say, Tiffanie, this morning, I called her and I was like, and she's like, okay, I'm going to let you go because you're really defensive and angry. So I am. I mean, I've already cried twice this morning. We're standing in the lobby of the building. Nora's like, let me clean you.
Combing your aura.
I'm feeling a lot of fire.
There's
this morning.
a lot of fire going on out there. There really is. There's a lot happening.
Look at you, like physically, you're doing this.
No, I love you. I'll take
I do
you
want to
any
say
way
one
I
thing.
can get you.
So there's an amazing show on Gaia right now. Richard Dolan does it. It's called False Flags. And before you have if you want to have a new way of looking at a lot of the traumatic events, I'm not saying I 100% believe it. I just think it's a powerful way of looking at these.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and he's very historically backed up with documentation and whatnot. And it's called False Flags, and just check it out, see what you think.
Well, there's so much going on behind the curtain. Mm-hmm. There is so much just going on, and we stay in a very kind of stupor, like everything's okay. But once you peek behind the curtain and you realize what's going on, it kind of blows my mind.
It's kind of scary at first. I mean, at first you're like, well, what do I believe?
Well, yeah, it's hard to know what to believe.
It can feel overwhelming too. Like, oh my gosh, I'm screwed. What can I do?
You know what?
Go.
I'm sorry. No.
Bring it.
Okay. You know what I just saw? What they just showed me is there's this freeway. It's like the Autobahn, this big freeway, and there are millions of us just
racing,
zooming down the freeway, and then there are these little offshoots, and people just randomly going, doop, and heading that way, but there's no road. The freeway's safe. You have on ramp, off ramp. You have the lights. You have it's safe, and it's the path traveled, and you know where you're going when you get on it. There are signs there. But when you go, there is no road, and you don't know where you're going, and I think, but that's the fun part,
It is.
That's why we call it JoyRide, because we're all over.
Woohoo! And it definitely has contrast. It has its stuff. I mean,
everything does that.
Yeah. Well, I'll just, like I had a client that I was working with that was being uncool and inappropriate, and so I just severed my therapeutic relationship with him, and he got very angry, and he's definitely doing what he can to upset the cattle cart. But I send him love. Dude, I love you, and I wish you all the best. Right. I hope that you can find the help you're looking for.
Well, you really get into people's stuff, too. I mean, I don't know the situation at all, but when people, like, I had to make my whole list of all the things that I had questions about, and it's every little, because I just did a past life.
You met with her yesterday.
Yeah, life between life regression. But I've done past lives, and I've done some healing with Nora, and you kind of have to bare your soul and be real open and honest about everything that's going on, your problems, your issues, and how you want to change and move. And so I can really see where you're getting into people's stuff.
Digging around down there.
Yeah, like any therapist. But so I don't know what the personal issue is, but I'm hoping it's for him to resolve. Whatever it is that you brought up in him, it's good for him.
Well, I wish him love and light.
Good.
So I don't know what it is.
So it is.
And I don't know the details of what this is, but I've been with you. You've been staying with me the last few days, and so and all I see is her on her phone, and it's like, but so sometimes does this bring up stuff for you too, though?
It always does. I mean, this is instructional, and every ounce of who I am is participating 100%. So my work, my life, my family.
Yeah, there's no separation.
There's no separation. This is all just me. And so, yeah, I'm figuring it out as I go, and it is uncharted. And I'm one of those people, and maybe there are people out there that can resonate with this. Every charted path that I really tried to follow failed because it was a part of my human experience to chart my own path.
To get off the freeway.
Right. And I people would say, "Oh, what's your plan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, ha."
The whole plan thing.
Yeah.
The P word.
Right. But the truth becomes your inner guidance. That human technology that is contained within all of us, that is our consciousness, and our ability to hear those subtle nudges that lead us in the right direction.
You should write a book about it.
Oh my goodness! I'm actually in the process of publishing a book on that. It should be out spring of 2018. And
I'm writing this down because we are going to hold you to that.
Navigating your awakening.
Accessing
your inner human technology, or something to that effect.
Yeah. Well, it is about accessing this beautiful human innate technology that's folded within every single one of us, and it's connected to our biology, it's connected to our wellness, and it'll all speak to you if you allow yourself to listen and hear. And hypnosis is also a really great way to get that ball rolling, and so you can share your experience, because that was super cool. I had a very non-traditional life between lives session.
So it was
with
over
Tiffanie.
3 hours yesterday, and beautiful, relaxing regression, getting into trance, and I was still awake. It was still me. I was still there. I didn't completely check out. I could hear you. But it's almost like my body was not paralyzed. I could move it, but it was just, I wasn't aware of my body that much. And you would, after we got into regression, I have a long list of questions of things that I want to know about. So you would ask me, so Tiffany wants to know about this, this, and this.
Wait, I want to add a little something. In a traditional Life Between Lives session, you regress to your most recent past life. And then you go into the spirit world after the death scene. Tiffany would not go into a past life.
Really
This girl was not going to do it. And so
my feet were burning.
She had sensations of a past life that were very traumatic.
And it felt like...
Were you a witch?
No, it felt like, I think I said polio, and the braces and the shoes, and my feet hurt. And I wouldn't go any further than that. But we brought in my guide, and it was interesting because I could feel my brain wanting to talk. So I just kept being quiet, and I would hear my own voice answering these questions in Tiffany needs this, and Tiffany needs this, and I could hear myself saying it. but it was my voice, so it was subtle. It wasn't like some other worldly booming voice. It was my own voice that I hear all the time, that I have that own internal conversation with. I was like, oh, that's my higher self or my guide. That is that quiet, small, still voice. So this is the screaming question, and there's always an answer if you'll just listen to it. And it's usually that first answer that you get before you go, oh no, it can't be that simple, or nah.
And
I got to complicate
quiet.
It is.
And it's very quiet.
It was quiet, and it was positive. It was always loving and positive, and always positioned things in a positive way. But there were a couple of times like, not going there, or nope, I don't have any information for that right now, and we just would have to move on. It wasn't always like, here it is, and like on a silver platter. It would be a word or a suggestion. It was really interesting.
Yeah, she asked questions about her health, her family,
the show,
basically any question that you want to have answered. You can connect with that in your higher self, but in hypnosis, you can have guides come through, and it just helps facilitate your trust and understanding that you are so held and supported, and you feel that too. It's a very empowering thing to realize, like, I do have these answers within me, and it's like prescribed specifically for you. This is, and no one else's story is going to line up or experience or
and I had asked a medical question, and you had said, well, what doctor? And I have a doctor here I have an appointment with, because it's something I think need some medical assistance with. I've tried all my natural healing, and this is just not shifting. And I came up with, you asked if there was another doctor, and I came up with some name. Never heard of it before, and I Googled it, and sure enough, there's that surgeon. It exists. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just pulled that out of the ether.
See, and Tiffanie,
it's verifiable.
You can do this, and I think you can do this on a large scale, and I think your ability to connect is very, very strong.
We all can, though.
Well, I trust in medium's abilities, and I will pay money for a medium to answer my questions, but for me to answer my own, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. You got.
I can't wait. It's like, I can't wait to go sit and talk about it.
I know.
So what did you tell you? I mean, what else did you tell you?
Just lots of good stuff, on the right path. Lots of one of the things that I love that Nora did is, when you are regressing back through this current lifetime, she takes you back to the womb and just asks you lots of questions about how you feel about coming into this life. And I could feel my hesitation to come in. I could feel my reluctance, because I knew it was hard. And I had said something about I needed to come. It wasn't so much, hey, I'm going to go make this an awesome. It was like, I needed to come. They almost like they wanted volunteers, and I said, I'll do it.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't like, I'm coming here to just make this big life. I don't know if I reluctantly, but
okay, fine.
But you almost reprogrammed. You sent a message of healing and love, and you are a master of this, and confidence into that baby cell, the cells that. I felt it kind of melt away, the trepidation, and oh my gosh, this is so hard sometimes. It's like, you got this. You came here. You've been called. You want to do this. And it was a real shift. So that was awesome.
That was so cool. And it has to do with allowing. And didn't you have, it was sort of stuck. There was something on the left
side. It was on the left side, which I have my issues with, and I saw this white, it was a clear, swirling light vortex. And they were putting it in me to like kind of scrub it and balance it. And it was kind of scrubbing and balancing the energy together. And they were like, it's just going to run in the background. Keep going.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
But that's what they did with me that time when I worked with Wendy with my no touch. When they scrubbed the inside of my skull, and they said, your receiver needs to be kind of ungunked, and so that's exactly what they did.
They were ungunking. Cool. It's like a scouring, like a roto-rooter.
Like should on some plaque. Well,
don't we all though?
We all need that. We all need a little psychic and spiritual roto-rootering every now and
so
again.
It was really important for me to take the time to do this personal work and not give my power over to a medium who I love and all them, but for me to investigate it within and realize I do have my own answers. And you're a wonderful hypnotherapist. You're in North Carolina now.
And Houston.
And
Houston, yeah. Nora's setting up shop here, too, because Nora used to live here and just recently moved.
And I love Houston, and I want to see my peeps in Houston, and I want to see my peeps in North Carolina. Come see me.
Yeah, so if you're interested in having this experience for yourself, it's highly worthwhile. I had a girlfriend of mine come and have a session with you too, and she didn't go into the past lives yet. She sort of had a healing hypnosis first and just cleared stuff out that she's like, oh my gosh, I totally saw it and felt it. It was amazing. So I'm having coffee with her tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
To get the download.
Well, you know, I have, so watching that with Miles, because I was there the whole time, and
Miles is your 9-year-old son.
he's 9.
Today.
Yes. Do you know what he wanted? Oh, Bobby, you're going to love this.
He is so
Miles
dang cute.
Wanted out of
Sweet
everything.
boy.
You had one kid that wants an iPhone or an iPad. This one wanted the life straw because he wanted to be able to drink water out of a puddle. That was his whole goal. So I said, you know what, let's not do the life straw. So life straw comes with and it's a whole filtration. We may get you one for your birthday. Yeah. And it comes with a bottle. And so you just fill it up from the tap or a stream and you got water. That was his coveted gift. That was like the biggest gift. It was really cool.
A survivalist on your hand.
There it is.
Bobby Slam Duncan here. Hi, Bobby.
Who drinks a ton of water. Anyway, so I was watching, I was witnessing this, and he's funny. He got his guide. She said, "What does he look like?" He's like, "He has slicked back black hair and blue eyes, and he's wearing a suit." She's like, "A suit? Can you describe the suit?" It's a black suit. I was like, "What is he, mafia?"
Is it a tux or a suit? He knew it was like my 8-year-old would never know the difference between a suit and a tux.
Well, he has a brother that wears tuxes to every event, so his next brother. But he knew, and he was so, he went immediately into a life. He went into my room. He said he was very excited, but he was a little bit nervous, and he could kind of connect with Charles. I don't remember if he could really connect with husband, but it was...
He knew that he had chosen all of the family members and that he had been in lifetimes with all of you guys before and was really excited about that.
He's so fun. Well, he was the bonus kid. He was the kid that didn't have to come. Like Charlie had to come. We had to work this stuff out. Jack kind of had to come. Miles, I had one more. There was one more, but we ran out of time. This body couldn't handle it, and so it was. But I laughed because he was so. He went to Australia. He lost his family.
Early 1900s.
Yeah, I wonder about the whole "my name is Sam" thing because he's really picked up on your son, Sam, and he loves Sam, and so it is, and he didn't really have friends, and he was in this training, and he was, I don't know, it was really cool. And it just came out, like he didn't stop and think, he was just, but he'd lay there and she would say something, you'd see him go,
yeah, it was
face
when I was relaxing him, I was telling him to focus on his toes, and he just thought it was the funniest
thing.
My big toe.
I want to take a moment to say hi to all our friends who are joining us on Facebook Live. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you. So hi, Ben. Daryl's joining us, Mr. Daryl Davenport.
Daryl, are you back? I want to come see you. Are you back from Round Top?
Donna, Valerie, yes. Trying to keep it real. Absolutely. There's nothing perfect about any of this. Shelly loves you. She says, you say what she's thinking.
I do.
The truth.
That's so cool.
Do you know that when I go back and I watch these shows, sometimes it'll be some time, and I'm thinking, ooh, I'm thinking that. Oh, she just said it. It's like, oh,
that's
me.
That's
me.
Who's that chick? Oh.
Carol, Donna, Sarah. Carol saying, where in North Carolina are you?
I'm in central North Carolina, near Chapel Hill.
All right. If you're close by or can travel, go visit Nora and get your own regression.
Do it.
I'd love
to see
like
you.
I had to start with a healing, and then I did a past life.
Well, we do a consult. I talk on the phone with them, or I meet with them to just sort of find out where they're at. Yeah. And if there's stuff that's obstructing them that they need to work on more primarily in their lives, we'll do that first, and then we'll get you there.
And you did sound healing and crystals. Yeah. You did the whole 9 yards. You really went there.
I do. I also do energy healing, so I include that in my practice. The life between lives and past life regressions are just their own thing, but my energy healing and other forms of hypnosis are...
and you're also a licensed counselor.
I'm a licensed hypnotherapist.
Hypnotherapist,
yeah.
Well, wait, I thought you were...
The Newton Institute
the International Association of Counselors and Therapists.
Yes, and so my hypnotherapy certification is through IACT.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Got it.
Do you ever feel him?
Yes,
I want to call him Wayne.
absolutely.
It's not Wayne.
Who, Michael?
No, it's Wayne Dyer.
I'm getting Wayne Dyer and Michael
Michael
Newton,
Newton.
so it comes out.
Well, I feel
Wayne
both
Newton.
of them. Wayne Dyer has been helping me with my book, so just a shout out. Yeah, I feel his support. Absolutely, I feel his support today because of the funkiness going on, and I think that there's an evolution happening amongst. There is an awakening happening on the planet, and that's being reflected in what kinds of things are coming through in life between lives. A lot more non-terrestrial lives are coming through.
Tell us about that.
Well,
Non-terrestrial meaning alien.
No, that's insulting.
Okay.
I don't like the term
Did you
alien.
say that?
Yeah, I think it's derogatory. But
Alien just means it's not from here.
not to be judgy. You guys use
But
whatever words.
non-terrestrial is so much nicer. They're just
we're-
not Earth-based.
If we're that detailed, I mean, I think for so many folks, just saying UFO kind of elicits that. What? So for
Right.
us to fine tune it to the point of don't say alien, it's like,
Well, but I like to see it as it's more personalizing though. When you call someone an alien, they're other than, and I want to include. This is our galactic family.
Or
we're
Carrie
talking about.
Mina
Okay,
with
so
the tall whites.
Tell us about the non-terrestrial.
we have to talk about the party.
Oh yeah,
What party?
the one that we
your
had for you
party.
Saturday night.
Oh, that party! Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's.
Wait, hold on. Let's first
Yeah.
start with we were saying you're finding a lot more non-terrestrial.
Yeah, so this is what I would introduce this topic with. If you've ever felt like you gaze up at the stars and you think, that is my home is out there. I miss you. You may want to come in for a session.
You may be a redneck.
You just might be an ET. And not that you are in a human body, but that your genetics or your soul progression has emerged with experiences of a non-earthly type. But if you think about it, we're infinite. So it doesn't surprise me at all.
But
Cool lives, though. Lots of cool stuff.
Can you tell us one?
Yeah, so I think...
can you talk about this, or is it you just can't use names and you can't refer to a person?
So I had a really fun one where the person found in their LBL that they're really wanting to work on independence, but they kept feeling drawn to the stars and feeling very alienated from their from their human life. And so what we found is that she had been in a lifetime where they did not look human, and by our standards we might think that they were really unattractive, but the love that she felt and the beauty that she felt in relation to them was profound. And it was kind of a Mars looking planet, but she said that it's not in existence anymore, but it had a reddish tone and everything was kind of pink, and they were kind of tan colored, scaly, sort of more reptilian, and they were always near water, but they all communicated telepathically, and their whole point of existence was healing. They were sending out energies of healing through toning to the universe, and I think they had an ability to direct where that healing, loving energy was going to, but it was all through toning, and they all felt like totally communal, like they knew what each other was thinking, and there was no negativity, there were no natural predators, so it was a super loving life. And when they were done, they just had a ceremony with a shaman type person, and then they left. There was no like death experience. They just were like, okay, ready to move on.
Can you imagine having that? A total community where you communicated telepathically. There were no predators and no violence. Can you imagine living in that kind of existence?
That would be beautiful.
And then you come and be a human and you feel separate, and we're all...
But it could maybe get a little boring. Maybe you want a little bit more excitement in your life.
But so that now that she's in a human body, what did she feel? She was feeling the isolation.
She wanted that, yearning for that collective
to bring that in
wholeness that she felt, and then being, I think, this individual. And I can kind of speak to that because I'm a twin, and I had to kind of go through that individuating process too, where I was too enmeshed. And so we as souls choose what we're wanting to learn. We're not like, God's not saying, you must learn this. You're like, oh, I've been dealing with this concept. Maybe I really want to grapple with this. Maybe this kind of circumstance and these kinds of genetics and these kinds of people in my life in a sort of rough blueprint kind of way will give me the experience that I'm really wanting to have. And that's what she's having. And then when you have an LBL, you can say, how am I doing?
Am I
and
doing
then everybody will say, ugh,
how you doing?
Phone it, just call it a day. No, they never say that.
But they say, you're doing great, try this.
Yes.
But if you can see from that perspective that you came here to be a human and work on independence, that makes sense why you would come and have this very separate kind of
thrown
feeling
into it.
You're thrown into it, but you yearn for what you used to have, but you came here to learn this, to experience
and
this.
she even had a life selection room where she had the body she chose, another body similar to the one she has but in a wheelchair, and then another one where she was like model-esque, like stunning. And so she instantly X'd the stunning one off. Like, not that she's not stunning, you're stunning, honey, but that was a very particular experience. And she's like, I don't know that I would be independent if I was so absolutely gorgeous. People are going to want to give stuff to her, or like she just felt like that wasn't going to provide the experience, and she definitely didn't want the handicapped experience. And she could have felt maybe that was good, but or maybe she would depended on other people, and this is the life she chose.
The beauty part, you would depend on that. I remember reading somewhere that there was this big actress, and she said that she wore a fat suit, and she said people were so incredibly different, and she'd leave it on because it took hours to actually put it on. And she said people wouldn't hold up in the door, and she said, I don't realize how much I trade. And it's not that she means to.
No, it's
people are nicer to you when you're nicer looking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I got 205 with pretty much all of my kids. I mean, I was fat, big for me. I mean, and that's a lot of weight on my body. And I was also pleasantly anorexic for quite a while. So I had that body issue with the way I look. And I know it's different. I know, after you've gained that much weight, and that's when I stopped weighing like 2 weeks before the child was born. So it's probably more than that. Then coming back down, woohoo, I feel great. And it's like, and it's different. It really is different. And especially at that time in my life. So I want to go.
Well, I want to speak very quickly about the body thing. We get to choose how we want to be in this world. Do we want to be a larger person in the world and it's a physical experience. Yeah. It can be chalked up to that. If we want to be a smaller person, that's okay too. But we don't have to beat ourselves up and compare ourselves to other people, because when you touch base, tune into your heart chakra, tune into your inner voice. What is it that you're coming here to do? What is priority? And just let that guide you. Let it be your truth.
Well, and that came up for me a lot in mine. I kept saying that this body is slower than I wanted it to be. It doesn't have as much energy or running, or it just doesn't as active as I feel like I should be.
Should, that word should.
Well, and so that's when I'm resistant to it, because they said this body's just slower than Tiffanie wants it to be.
Or maybe previous lifetimes where you had more access to energy.
To energy. There's just a smaller amount of it. So it's not a bad thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I still take care of myself and exercise. And they had a whole prescription for the things to do for me personally. But it just helps me make peace with like my body the way I am.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay.
That's so good.
Which I think
so good.
And the big thing was quit comparing yourself to others. Quit comparing.
That's like 101. I mean, I think we're brought in to do that. Yeah. I mean, we're other relationships, other bodies. But I want to go somewhere real quick. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but your son, and I thought it's funny. It's just been rolling around in my head for the last few days. The idea that he wanted a remarkable life, and so he chose what he chose. Can you talk to that? Because I think that was so beautiful.
Yes. So I did a reading recently with a medium friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a long time. And Daniel's guide came in. And this is my son who has a rare genetic condition. And his number one question is always, why do I have this? He's 10. He's 11, sorry. And they said, and the guide said, Isaiah said, you came here to learn your lessons in a remarkable way. Of course you chose to be rare. Of course you chose to do it. Anybody could be boring and come in this way. You chose it this way. he has a hard time understanding that he chose it. And they said you didn't specifically choose FOP, but you came in to choose your lessons in a remarkable way, and you are doing it, and you agreed to come in and be a teacher for others.
Oh boy, Izzy! I'll never forget that day we were at the pool, and I think it was one of the first times we were at the pool with you. And he is, and I have to give this to you because it just makes me cry. Tiffanie does not victimize, and she refuses. I mean, you're so aware of the needs, and the look you're giving me. But it is. But we're going to live this full big life. We're going to travel. We're going to Paris. We're doing this. We're doing that. You're going to be in Scouts. We're going. It's just this huge big life, and nothing slows you down. Nothing slows him down. I mean, you're very aware of what he can do and not do. But it is so we're at the pool, and he said, "Okay, look, guys." He's telling all the kids this. I mean, all the peers. They're 9, they're 10, they're 12. He's like, "All right, guys, I can swim, but I have this life vest because my arms won't go above this. Okay? Anybody have questions?" But in the way he's like, he wants to inform and he wants to tell them. I mean, just such a sense of self, and he just has this huge presence. So
he's been my biggest teacher. Absolutely,
God, he's everybody's biggest. Charlie, my oldest one, is 14, and he's almost 6 feet tall. He's huge, and he's just big kid, and he just gravitates to Daniel. I mean, you should see them. The way they walk, and I swear, if anybody ever messed with Daniel, Charlie would.
They have the
take him down.
sweetest kids, both of them. They really do. Yeah, you guys, good mamas.
Thank you.
Good mamas.
Thank you for
Not
all
every
that.
day.
But it helps me understand why he's here, how he's to do it. But they also told me don't placate him. I have to understand, let him be mad that he has this. Let him write FOP as an SOB on glass bottles and smash them. They're like, don't, if somebody's looks like broken their leg on the side of the road, you go, "Oh, but your hair is beautiful and your arms still work." You have to be like, "That sucks. That hurts. That must hurt so bad."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do try to say, well, let's just keep going. We can do this and we can do this. And so they gave me so much advice on how to modify, as he grows, how to modify my reactions to him. Mm-hmm. And they said the only way he will turn from you is if you placate him when he's trying to have these experiences. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm. And not let him go.
So this wisdom has guided me so much through my journey here. I would be a different person without it. So it's my go-to.
Well, and you've allowed it.
This is my go-to.
And you've allowed it. And I think that a lot of people are wondering, why isn't this happening for me? And I think it can happen for anyone. And just giving yourself permission. And you have to be ready to hear the truth, too. I think a lot of people get a little freaked out and not ready. And that's okay, too. Wherever you're at, this bit of information, if you want your life to change, if you want your life to be who you feel like you came here to be, you have to have the courage to face the information that's coming and internalize it and see how it resonates and then move from that point.
Act from that, yeah.
Right.
If you're going to resist it, there's no point in
Or
seeking
ignore
it
it.
out or igngnore it.
Because it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You
Can
want
you
only
talk
hear
about
the
your
good stuff.
relationship? You're starting to work with, sorry, am I interrupting you?
It's okay.
In my work, that in noticing that there's a massive spiritual awakening going on, I'm seeing a lot of breakdown in traditional relationships, particularly married male female. And so all I really want to say about that is, if you're noticing that you are having breakdown in your relationship, I really encourage you to go within and get clear about what it is that you want. One of the things I find so surprising is that people don't know, first of all, what they want. What do you want? It's a simple question, but it's not, right? People don't want to answer because, well, then maybe this will cause a cataclysmic shift in my relationship or whatever. Just fantasize about it. Again, you don't have to worry about the how, just what is it? And encourage your partner to be honest about finding out what they want too. Why would you want to be in a relationship if you aren't happy? If you're not happy and you want something different than that relationship can provide, consider that there might be some other ways of living your life. Now, I don't want to be a home wrecker, but I want to encourage everybody to be living an authentic life. And I think a lot of people stay in relationships for a long time. Well, I'm staying in for the kids. Don't stay for the kids. The kids are going to see this is how you stay in a shitty relationship for, until
decades.
The kids move out, and then you have a catastrophic break.
Yeah, but that is such a case by case. I don't know that I completely agree with that advice, because I know there have been times when I'm like, holy, are you serious? And it may take a while to get it back, because when one thing changes, everything changes. And so it is that's a very fine line.
Right, but you have to have
just to bail.
And I hope I'm not saying that people aren't hearing to bail. What I'm saying is get clear, get the communication rolling in the relationship. If you're
don't be afraid to
be real about it, because if you're miserable, or what I've seen a lot, and I don't mean to generalize, I'm seeing a lot of infidelity, and I think a lot of people will have infidelities for different reasons. But what that does is it causes wreckage. It causes very painful wreckage. And if you know you want to hook up with somebody else,
be in integrity with it.
Yeah, be in integrity with it. Why can't you just notice that in yourself and communicate with your partner before you actually do it? Start the conversation. Trust that you're together for a reason. And that maybe they'll hold the space for you. Maybe you want to have an open relationship. Maybe your relationship is shifted from romantic to platonic. Have courage that it can unfold in a way that isn't
it's in alignment.
That's in alignment with you, and maybe different looking, again, than what society tells you it should look like. Because if it feels like crap, then something needs to be addressed.
Well, and this is so simple, but happy people don't cheat. If you're happy in your relationship, or if you're communicating, then the wandering eye doesn't usually happen.
Well, but I don't know if that's absolutely true. I mean,
that's my experience.
Yeah, I have friends who are polyamorous, and they're just the kind of people that love to have multiple lovers. And I'm not that kind of a person, but I don't judge it, because that's their happiness. But if you're a type of person who really wants to have multiple relationships, and you can have them in integrity, have them, but don't railroad yourself by getting into a monogamous relationship and holding up the artifice of monogamy.
Right, because that's what
you'll
you're
be miserable,
supposed to do.
And that's not fair to the person that you're with. Just be real. Like, tell them, okay, I'm actually really this way.
Right.
And it saves you a lot of anguish, because the wreckage that it does to the family when you finally obliterate in trauma because everybody's finding out the secret lives and blah blah,
which always come out.
Yeah, it's like, do no harm. Really do your best to do no harm.
I agree. And I think that there was a time I saw some stuff go down, and I just wanted to tell that young girl that didn't know, that she just didn't have the foresight. It's like, when you're going after that guy, that married man with children, you're affecting generations. You're affecting generations, because usually there is fallout with the children.
Absolutely.
It does erode some sort of a trust that they come in with, and the way they view that parent, and and it just keeps going, and it's not judgment. I mean, we're all young and stupid at some point, but it is, or for me, but it is
oh yeah,
well, yeah, I mean, but I think that you're right, there is a way to do it where society is moving in a direction. I mean, we have a close friend that is saying, I'm living this my way. But she's honest about it, and that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm advocating for sure.
So do you counsel couples? Do you see?
I do.
You do.
I do. And my tendency is to see them individually and not and have them work in conjunction with their therapist. I end up seeing typically one or the other.
Yeah.
But I love doing this work with couples, because just helping them to find their authenticity in their relationship and just break down any presupposed ideas about what a relationship can be, and it can be their relationship, whatever that is.
That's beautiful.
That's cool. You can have an amazing relationship, guys.
Well, that's the way
girls.
That's the way I feel, though. I feel like my husband would not give that to me. That you complete me. What society tells you that person is your end all be all, right? And they're supposed to stay that for 50 plus years, and through vomiting kids and money issues and all the stuff. And so and we walk side by side, and trust me, it's not, we definitely have our stuff that we work through, but we show up, and I think that's the biggest part.
That's huge.
And we walk side by side.
Right.
He does not complete me. I don't complete him.
You got to plug in.
Period.
You got to plug in.
We do our own thing together.
It's cool to see.
I love also, I'm going to switch gears real quick, the conversations you have on the experience. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, the experience is my little very grassroots podcast that I have on Facebook and on my YouTube channel. And I just love people's stories and how their journey has led them to where they are in their life. So it's their experience. So, yeah, if you're curious about hearing more about the stuff I like to talk about, check out the experience. And both of you lovely ladies have been on it.
We got to be on.
We
Yeah,
got
it's
to
interesting
be
to
on
be
it.
interviewed. I'm usually the one asking all the questions.
And I can't wait to have you guys on more.
That'd be fun.
So
Yeah.
your website, just because I don't think we even threw that out there, essentialhealing101.com.
Yes, it is. And you can
essentialhealing101.com.
and I'm available by text too. I have a Hawaii number. I do live in North Carolina. It might be confusing, but with modern technology, my number is 808-224-4864, and you can just text me.
Do you want us to put that on the blog?
Sure, absolutely. We were going to talk about something.
The party?
We were going to talk about the party. Oh, yes. We were talking about
That was so much fun. We just had everybody. It was Carrie from The Shiny Show.
Shiny Show.
And Sarah,
who's
Jawa.
channeling.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Channeling
her
Eric.
son
Adam.
Adam.
Now, are you still doing the soul bridges?
We're still doing soul bridges, but it's morphing. I think people are starting to come online as mediums.
Wait, did we just switch gears again?
Yeah, we
No,
totally
I'm
did.
doing a quick little aside.
Okay.
Mediums are now taking on this challenge of connecting with incapacitated people.
Such a great idea.
So
Yeah.
this is a new venture of yours, and
And
you're
babies.
working with other mediums.
She was working with Sarah with this. This was the squirrel part.
Yeah, Sarah.
The
So-
squirrel
Sarah
part,
could
but this
ju-
is so cool. So people who are
No, it is.
incapacitated with dementia or in a coma,
Yeah, contact
the
me
mediums
if you need mediums. I
can
have
connect, and you can still communicate with them.
right, and
We're babies.
and because
We're
it's a
babies.
very specific kind of work. But I think mediums are now getting on board. There's more people who are starting to do it just since we started doing soul bridges, and I think if your loved one is not someone that can be communicated with on whatever level, just consider one of Soul Bridges mediums, or just meet a medium and ask them if that's something that they're willing to do, because incredible healing can happen, and the higher self of that person can be communicated with, and then answer some of the questions of end of life care or circumstances.
And they can validate who they are. They can give evidence to validate
Well,
that you're
absolutely.
actually
And
connecting
And
with them.
do they have to have permission? Because if the vehicle isn't in a place to give,
They won't communicate if
If-
they're
if
not
it's a
okay
no.
with it. Right. Yeah.
Got it.
And that's what a medium that has integrity will totally know that. A lot of mediums won't do it because it's a very complicated, emotionally fraught time.
well, and you're also reacting to the information right then. I mean, it's it's not just to
So
make you feel
yeah,
good.
yeah, and if you need some support with that, I'm happy to guide you through it.
Okay, so
awesome.
Sarah Kajawa
So Sarah and Carrie
and Carrie from The Shiny
Elisa
Show. Elisa from
from
Channeling Eric.
Eric's mama, and
August.
then Wendy Hutchinson.
Wendy Hutchinson with Marconics. August Vega from Malk. You, me, you.
It was so much
We
fun.
all had dinner. Metaphysical Moms Unite.
Yeah,
at
and
one-
I don't know if you guys know this, but the interior designing capability of Carrie.
I know,
mean,
it's
she
gorgeous.
just makes
yes.
she makes the
It's
most
gorgeous.
gorgeous space. Like you just feel like you're in a
You're so
luxurious movie set or
I know.
something.
We all
It's-
brought food and wine and sangria and
Such a-
appetizers.
It
and
was
we
such a
just
beautiful
sat around this beautiful candle-filled room.
flowers,
We
and
had-
textures,
and a possum. It is Texas. No, my
We had
dog.
dogs and cats and possums running around, kids coming in.
Creepy. Yeah, kids did come in. No, it was really a fun night. And at one point we looked around and it's like, I mean, I've known Tiff for quite a while now, but we looked around and realized that we had only met everyone in the last year. And you know what I realized is that there was a time when, before I really kind of woke up, that you meet people and you're like, I resonate, I don't agree, I agree, now I don't want to be friends with them. Okay, and it's not that you consciously say that, it's just, I'm not really sure about that. But these women, like none of that matters. It's like I'm in love with their soul. And all this stuff. I mean, I just love to hear stories.
Unity in the community, baby.
It's so great.
And so wherever you're joining us from, that's what we were saying. This within a year, we created this beautiful network of amazing women, and you'd come in from out of town, and people, we got together to have this shared experience, and we all FaceTime and talk and chat. But to all be together in the same room at the same time was magical. So wherever you are in your journey, there are like-minded people out there. Just you got to reach out and touch them and invite them in.
And if you have a seat at our table, you do.
Come at our table. Belinda Myers is saying, hi, neighbor from Lumberton, North Carolina.
Right on, Belinda. Thanks for connecting. I love it. Yay, North Carolina.
What is mahalo?
Mahalo is thank you in Hawaiian.
I just laughed. She's been saying all week, okay, now here's the Hawaiian word for this, and here's the
Yiddish.
I know you throw up a lot of Yiddish every now and then.
She's trilingual.
She is.
I'm all about the patois, pidgin of any kind. So there's I guess Yiddish is a real language, but I use it and it's more for emphasis. Some words just sound better. You know, like if you got a lot of spilkus, if you got a lot of spilkus, you got to work out your.
You got your tuchus.
Come
on.
She just likes talking about butts. So
I do.
I
didn't know that's what it took.
We have boys. It's all butt jokes. Okay, we're saying hi to Svetlana, Karina, Melinda, Melissa. Oh, hi, Sinky Sarah's on.
Melissa.
Joanne.
Melissa, I'm so excited to have met you. We're trying to get out to Portland so that we can hang out with you guys.
Melissa is a friend of Allison Coe, who is a QHHT hypnotherapist. And we've had her on a couple times, and amazing information that's come down through these sessions. So just a slightly different flavor here today, but it's all good.
Portland.
Well, and you guys are coming up with the same stuff. I mean, some of the things that you say, like you guys are, because I think it's because you're accessing the higher self, or the oversoul. That it's just such a beautiful thing.
That's why any healing modality that is bringing healing is okay, because you're channeling the same energy. People will say, what kind of energy healing do you do? Do you do Reiki? And I'm like, no, I don't do Reiki. I don't use the tradition of Reiki, but I use more of a Western-based modality because I learned Barbara Brennan healing science and combined it with shamanism, and then you get your own stuff and it becomes your own flavor and special sauce.
It's a special sauce and a flavor.
Delicious.
Thanks, baby.
Oh, we don't want to run out of time. Oh, we've got Christina saying hi from Melbourne. Hi.
Hi, Christina.
Wait, from
Melbourne, Australia. I do.
You're in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you are. What are you doing awake?
Oh, speaking of, Siri Palmos from Australia is coming in on Thursday.
Yay!
Got a lot of guests this week.
It is. So what's on deck for you? What's coming up? You've got your children, your book.
Yeah, finishing that book is super important. I just have such a push, get it done. So I already my editor is working on it, so that's a big push. Just seeing people, helping people in this awakening.
It does help.
It's just, I want to be of service to people, and I want to have fun, and I want to help people understand that who they are, who they're meant to be, they can totally kick ass at this. They're rock stars. They can be whoever they dreamed of being and have access to really the plan, actually, and connect with that so they can just be up and running and not get distracted by all of the distractions that are there, that are distracting us from ourselves, from our own personal power, from
fear-based stuff too.
Achieving the earth that we really can create as a collective, instead of being divided and focused in fear. I mean, I think fear is like a fungus, like
you gotta kill fear.
It's like the worst vibration possible. And yeah, if you're being chased by like a tiger or something, you can be afraid, run. But fear of that nature, of that like something is going to happen to me, that being in that hyper-vigilant state is so bad for your nervous system, for your living out your plan and expressing your soul self.
But don't you think that's by design on some level? I feel like especially with TV, it is mainstream. It is, some of it's fun, but it just feels like it's fear-based, and fear
begets fear. So the networks are giving you what you are paying for. And if you, I used to watch horror movies, and when I met my husband, he's like, why are you doing that? Why would you want that in your head? And it was sort of like I was unconsciously doing it. And I'll tell you, people, my dreams got a whole lot better after that.
A lot more fun.
And fear just, you know, I really try to be courageous in my life, because my guides have told me over and over again, Nora, you have nothing to fear. And I've shown, you know, I've seen some of my past lives, and oh my goodness.
How many times have you been here? 10,000?
Yeah, close to 10,000. And
so you've done it all. You've been.
And I have looked under every
killed.
Under every stone. I've come by the light, honestly, is what I've been told. So the long trudge out of the dark.
My energy trusts your energy. So when you're under hypnosis and you're taking us in, it's okay to like completely let go, trust your energy, trust the intention and the questions that you ask. It's all done with integrity. So that's a beautiful gift.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Wow, thank you
for
for helping me share it with the world. It's super important to me.
Well, and we just have a second. We want to say thank you to everybody who joined us either on Facebook Live or later on YouTube, JoyRideShow.com, EssentialHealing101.com.
Yep.
And we look forward to having you back. I got to go get you to the airport so you can fly home to your family.
Yeah.
And I've got a sick kid at home, and I've got a birthday thing I have to take to school.
We're moms. We got to put our mom hat back on and go jump back into the world.
Thanks for sharing your time with us, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for
We
coming.
love you all.
Thank you all.
You're all very important parts of this time.
All right, signing off, and we'll see you guys
No
next
music.
week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.